Wednesday, February 25th, 2026. I'm in Norwich, Connecticut. I'm driving down Plain Hill Road. We had a 2-inch snow. I don't want to call it a storm. Maybe technically it's a storm. They call it a clipper, real fast moving. But by my estimation, at least in my driveway, it amounted to 2 inches. We were supposed to get 1 to 3 was forecast, and it was about 2 inches of snow we ended up with. So I've been driving around for the last few days surveying all the, kind of the aftermath of this blizzard that we had a couple of days ago. But I kind of want to go up to Mohegan Park. I haven't ventured up to that area yet. I covered a lot of Norwich yesterday, and the day of the blizzard I actually went out in the in the evening. It wasn't dark, but it was, the sun was going down, and I got some pretty cool footage of literally the day of the blizzard. So that was it's up on my YouTube channel right now. But I'm going to head up to the Mohegan Park area, cruise around a little bit. I mean, sunset is in, 45 minutes or something like that. But it's kind of dangerous with these snowbanks and, people trying to see around them and things like that. It's hard to navigate certain spots where they piled up the snow. They don't have a choice. There's nowhere to put the snow. It's, it's like ridiculously high. We've had 2 major storms this year alone, so that's unusual for us. I'm looking to the right. I see tall grass sticking out of, a couple of feet of snow. It's a beautiful scene. Unfortunately, behind it is 395, so that kind of is not as, picturesque and as beautiful as it could be. But I imagine if you went out to areas right now, if you're into cross-country skiing or, snowshoeing or whatever it would be, Barn Island maybe down in on the shoreline in Connecticut, and areas, Harkness, certain areas where they have kind of bird, not sanctuaries, but see, I'm gonna have a tough time passing. It's tighter than normal, but that's all right. All right, so now, this is West Town Street, Norwich Town. Let me dip into Samuel Huntington School just very briefly, just to get there's the school right there, and some of the giant mounds of snow. You don't have any perspective, like you're looking at the video now and you see the snow. If there was a person standing in front of that big giant pile right there, you could get an idea, you can get a perspective, a comparison of what, the height is and everything. But I'm just capturing raw video here, and let's see if I can look around this corner. All right. But as you can see, this West Town Street is absolutely perfectly drivable and no problem whatsoever. And today was, the clipper passed through last, probably early in the morning, and then shortly thereafter the sun came out and it's super bright, so that kind of really accelerated the melting. Although it's not, it's not warm, or it's not, let me see if I can see the temperature. This car says 38 degrees. I don't know if that's accurate, but if it is, that's definitely above freezing. So that with the coupled with the sun, that's going to accelerate the melting. All right, so I'm going to head up to, let's see, I think I'll hit Ox Hill Road. I want to look at New London Turnpike again. I'm going to have to work my way over to, if I can swing that during this kind of, late afternoon drive, and I don't lose my my light. I'm going to work my way over there. All right, so this is Ox Hill Road right here, and I think I'll approach Mohegan Park from the back of the park. Man, that's a whole lot of snow. But it's February 25th. We're almost into March. That's good. March is always, to me at least, the mental kind of vibe or whatever is, you're heading in the right direction. March, you get, a little bit of hope that things are going to start warming up a little bit. Next week, a long range forecast, I saw a couple of 2 days in a row of 50 something, 50 plus degree temperatures forecast. So that's going to be important in the melting process. It's going to take a long time, but that's what I'm talking about. March, we're heading in the right direction. All right, wow, I feel like I'm going down a tunnel right here with the snow on both sides. So we're heading into the back of Mheaggan Park, and I'm just trying to think. I want to cover a lot of the park. Man, oh man. Oof. That guy's got at least 2 feet of snow on his roof back there. We had another, we had 2 big storms. The other one was starting to melt off, but it's still, if you had a roof with some of the leftover snow from that other storm, and then this one just piled on top of that, so there's a ton of weight up there. When I was snow blowing this, I gotta look around this huge corner. When I was snow blowing this storm today, this little, couple inches, it definitely was a much wetter, like a snowball, snowman type of snow. It was not a fluffy light powder like the other. The first storm we had was like something out of, a Colorado ski loft or, ski. Man, these corners, it's tough to see around here. It was like a ski lodge or, super fine powder. The last storm a couple of days ago was, this blizzard Clifford. Wow, man. I'm looking at Spalding Pond with probably 20 inches of snow on it. It looks like, it doesn't look like a pond. It looks like a field. I got to come up here and do some, on the ground footage. I'm going to turn around. Wow, there's kids. Wild. They're like in the playground. Nah, I got to get out of here. How am I going to do that? I'll just back up. If there's nobody coming behind me, then I don't I don't think that guy... Alright, I'm just going straight back. This might make for some cool video. As long as I don't... I gotta keep this... I better keep it level. I better go straight, otherwise I'm gonna end up in a snowbank. Using my rear view mirror to its fullest capacity. This is not something I recommend to anybody. Man, oh man, this is not... I got that sun right in my eyes. Alright, let's see if I can make it. Nah, I got a ways to go here. Alright, you're better off turning around and looking. You can go faster. Or at least I can. Rather than use the rearview mirror. Okay, good. Alright, that's the most... You know, I think I just made history. That's the most backing up I've done on a single road in maybe my entire life. I can't remember backing up that far on a road. Alright, let's cruise through this beautiful Mohegan Park, you know, forest. I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's an absolute... This is probably the crown jewel of Norwich, Mohegan Park. In my opinion, it's one of them. NFA is another crown jewel. Slater Memorial Museum's another crown jewel. We got them. Wow. They plowed... That's wild. It almost looks like they dumped snow there. I think they did. So they must have taken, you know, trucks filled with snow and just dumped them over there in the woods. Dumped the, you know, the trucks in the woods. I wonder if there's anybody on this pond. I mean, you're not supposed to go out there, but I mean, there's no way I would venture out in a million years on that Spalding Pond, because it's, I mean, you got 2 feet of snow, or 20 something inches probably, and what's underneath it, I mean, you don't know how thick that ice is. So yeah, let's drive through the Mohegan Park forest. And I call it a forest because there's pine trees all over the place and it looks like a forest. Go in this parking lot. You got the dog pound down here. I'm not going to get down to the dog pound, but whoa, they didn't... Okay, this give you an idea of the... I got to turn around. This parking lot normally right here, let me back up a little bit. Right there, straight ahead, is a big, huge parking lot. Hasn't been plowed yet. They'll get to it. It's not a priority. I mean, there's tons of parking around Mheaggan Park. What is it? 4:55. So, I want to get over to the London Turnpike. I don't have a ton of time. Let me cover more Mheaggan Park. Go through this, my favorite little strip right here. Actually, going in the other direction, it kind of looks real cool. It does this way too, but there's something about that opposite direction there, the lighting, whatever. If you catch it right, it's really, it's very beautiful. All right, let me think here. You know, it might be, my time is limited, so I just gotta kind of figure out. I'll cover a little bit more of Mohegan Park. Yeah, I know what I'll do. Cover more Mohegan Park, then I'll head over to New London Turnpike. I just want to see how that road is. Every road in Norwich was like, I can't say the back road. I mean, I don't know every back road. The major roads. Like, look at that beautiful shot right there. Let me get over here. I'm on the wrong side of the road, but it's worth the effort. That's just a... If I had a photography, the stills camera, be a good shot. Nowhere to park, but I guess in theory you could jump out of the car. Let's see what they did with this parking lot down here. Okay, so Mohegan Park. All right, no, that's somebody went in there. Okay, it looked a little bit of sliding. It looked like it was not done, but let's take a look. I got an all-wheel drive vehicle, so I think I can make it. Well, okay, there's somebody right there in front of us. Wow, I got to back out of here. This is my second backup of the day. All right, we're getting some unique footage. So it's kind of off limits. I don't know, off limits completely, but it's not plowed. The parking lot is not plowed. It's just hard to... It's hard to see exactly where I'm going because there is a turn back here and I don't want to end up getting stuck. All right, so we made it. So Mohegan Park is yet to be fully plowed. So that person over there that's skiing, cross-country skiing, had a pretty good, solo effort down there, I would assume, at Mohegan Park. I mean, I think definitely there's nobody else down there except, well, the folks on the swing set. They brought their little kids to, they got slides and they got a whole big playground over there. So Mohegan Park is not plowed out yet. That's not a priority. I mean, priority is all the back roads and all the, they did the major important roads in Norwich that, the high traffic and all that. And now they're going to probably, another storm today. Definitely no school again today. So that threw a wrench into the gears. But now the fine-tuning begins. Somebody pulled over here. Now the fine-tuning begins. Go to the back roads, all the little one-way little streets, and, just nail every one of them. Get it all taken care of. Look at that cool tree directly ahead. I don't know if you can see it, but there's snow on the branches, and it's a very unique tree. Big old, I don't know, oak maybe? Rose garden to the right. I mean, there's no roses growing at the moment. I can pretty much guarantee that. I'm going to pull over for a second. There was a pretty epic splash situation back there. I'm going to check my lens really, really quickly. Lens looks perfect. But you gotta check. You gotta check. If you get you're driving through those trees back there, and if you get like a big splash on your dead center of the lens, your footage is gonna be terrible. And I don't want that. All right, we're on Rockwell Street right now in Norwich, Connecticut. And I'm going to go to, let's see, New London Turnpike. Let me work my way over there. Got Butternut Drive to the right. A lot of really cool houses up there. Mid-century modern. People still digging out. You take your time. I mean, that's, what you do? You go out there, you do 15 minutes tops, and you go in, you rest for 15 or, whatever, until you feel okay. You go back out. I mean, this needs to be approached very, very delicately, very carefully. Look at that snowblower right in front of us. This guy's loaded for bear. Sheltering arms over there to my right. All right, let's... All right, it's after 5. It's 5:02. So we got, I don't know, 40 minutes. It's kind of hard to gauge. There it is, the Slater Tower right there. NFA, Norwich Free Academy. Those guys, now that's an operation that knows how to remove snow right there. Okay, I'm gonna go straight. Chelsea Parade to the left, NFA to the right. Everybody, Chelsea Parade, Rose Arts Festival, everybody from Tony Orlando and Dawn to Stevie Ray Vaughan played there live in concert, among many, many others. I mean, we're talking legendary people. I mean, we had Bobby Darin down there. I remember the ad. It was 1970, Bobby Darin. I think he might have been working on like an image change or something. He was billed as Bob Darin as opposed to Bobby Darin, like the the younger generation or whatever. I think he was trying to, I mean, correct me on this if I'm wrong, but for a period he kind of broke out of the the teeny bopper teenage thing and was putting out more adult, contemporary style music. But in 1970, he played right back there in that. Well, it's covered with snow, but it's like a green, a large, they call it Chelsea Parade, but he blew the doors off that place at Stevie Ray Vaughan. That I know for a fact. There was a bootleg tape, or I don't know if it was whatever. If somebody recorded a bootleg, in the audience, and it was on YouTube for a little while, but then it was copyright infringement or whatever, and it was taken down. All right, let me think here. I'm gonna go up Lafayette. I gotta work my way over to New London Turnpike. Bacchus Hospital. When I turn left, you'll get a good shot of Bacchus Hospital. Jesus Christ, this guy's coming right at me. Hello. I mean, I'm sitting there with a red light. Or a green light. I'm not into head-on collisions at this juncture. I'm sure it would make for some, that could be one heck of a viral video, but I'm not willing to go to those lengths to, get more views. So this is Lafayette Street. Yeah, I'm going to work my way. I'll take a right. I'll get on Sherman. I'll go over to Asylum, a bit of Asylum, but then I'm going to jump onto New London Turnpike. That's the test. That's what I was wondering about yesterday. We covered Norwich, or I drove all around, and everything was looking good. But New London Turnpike was a little rough, and I predicted that by the end of the day it would be done. So I didn't go back until now we're going to see. We're going to see how that looks. See, the problem with shoveling, and this is. Overnight, things froze into place. Last night I went to bed, I looked at the temperature, was 9 degrees. So everything that was the moisture, the liquidy part of this snow on the ground it just turned ice. And now you get out there today, you're shoveling and that ice is kind of embedded. We're going over the Sherman Street Bridge. That ice is embedded in the cement and in the road and whatever. You can, chip away and all that. They have ice breaker chipper things, but wow. That Yannick River to my right, I don't think you can see it, but it's all that snow on that river. It's kind of wild because it's, there's water, there's ice, and there's big mounds of snow. I mean, a foot or more. There's a big train trestle over there. It's really nice, but to get out there, you got to be like that guy back at Mohegan Park. You got to be cross-country skiing or snowshoeing or whatever it may be. All right, I'm going to take a left onto, if I can see around these massive snowbanks. I'm going to take a left and get onto New London Turnpike. We'll survey that. Whew, I'm going to wait. Yeah, there's a guy behind me with a bobcat, and they're doing he's to my right, extreme right. He's got a bobcat, and he's loading the snow into a massive truck, and they're hauling it away. So that's, there's nowhere left for that business back there. I think it might be doctor's offices or whatever they are, dental, oral surgery, a bunch of different things. Where are you going to put the snow? They're taking it out. They're hauling that snow out of there. That makes sense. I mean, it's. I'm sure it's pricey. You gotta. It's one thing to plow a parking lot. It's another thing altogether to literally say, "Hey, can you come here and remove the snow and take it off site?" Because that's what they're doing back there. All right, the London Turnpike, which I'm on right now, looks, worlds better than it did yesterday. So as predicted. Unless things degrade up ahead, but as predicted, they cleared this thing off. Probably yesterday. When I was driving around, I said, this is going to be cleared by the end of the day yesterday. And I'm going to assume it was. I'm taking my time here. I'm just kind of cruising along at the speed limit, or maybe, hovering in that area. And I got people right on my bumper. I mean, you know what? I'm glad I'm making this red light and make this guy wait a little longer. But I mean, it's kind of pointless to be 3 feet behind me, especially in conditions like this. I mean, anything can happen. A car could pull out of a driveway that we can't see because things are, piled up too high. There could be an icy, black ice situation. Oh, good, the guy's turning. Excellent, I don't have to worry about that guy anymore. So the London Turnpike was, in this area, not that great. They just hadn't gotten to it yet. I mean, you can't... The road crew, the people plowing the roads in Norwich on a scale of 1 to 10 during the blizzard and, the day after, I give them a 10. Okay? That's just their reputation anyways. They're basically maintaining that 10 reputation that they always have had. But the only road that wasn't perfect, it had been gone over, but there was drifting and there was a lot of stuff going on with this blizzard. The London Turnpike was not flawless. Again, I'm not complaining. I'm just stating a fact. It wasn't flawless. Shortly thereafter, they probably sent a couple trucks down, and they turned it into what you see now. Perfect. I'm going to keep going. I'll go down to the golf course. I'll go down to the Norwich golf course, and so it's official. Gas prices are increasing again. They were they were dropping steadily, but not now. I don't know. There's could be some shortage. I know oil deliveries to the house, like home heating oil. The reason the price increased on the home heating oil was this is a much colder than normal. This is what I was told by somebody that knows what they're talking about. They're in the oil delivery business. But this was a much colder winter than we've had in many years because, we had an Arctic, blast or whatever the condition. It was set up, certain temperature. I would say this week or, a couple of weeks on end, 2 weeks of kind of Arctic temperatures and then maybe a week of normal temperatures and then another Arctic blast for 5 days, whatever. This went on and on. So the demand for oil was higher than they expected this year. So that was the problem. According to somebody that works in oil, delivery, and this is what I was told. And, otherwise you probably would have had prices that were in keeping with every other year, predictable. And so New London Turnpike, look at it. Yesterday this was, one of the rougher kind of easily drivable. I was in a conventional car and I drove no problem, but there was visibly, if you want to, nitpick and you want to get really, kind of over the top about wanting things to be absolutely flawless. So now we're at the Norwich golf course, and people were sliding yesterday. They got Suicide Hill over there, and I'm sure it's packed down real nice right now. So I don't know if I want to pull in here. I don't know if I can see the kids sliding. I doubt it, but maybe I'll. Way in the distance. Yeah, you won't be able to see it. It's a wide-angle lens. Way in the distance is Suicide Hill, and there's people over there, but with this lens, you either won't be able to see them at all, or you will be. They'll look like dots. Wow. Big mound of snow right there. Yeah, I'm not going to get out there because it's blocked. We won't be able to see any of the guys that are sliding around because that hill's blocking our view. But to give you a perspective, maybe see the cars. Look at the size of this thing. I'm going to line it up. This thing and that car right there. So that's, I don't know, I would say 9 feet. 9 feet tall. The one to the right back there. This is the Norwich golf course, the place that there could be a restaurant in there. I think there's a restaurant, and you can get something to eat, but you tee off, I think, from another location up near the Norwich Inn. If I'm not mistaken, I haven't golfed when I was. Yeah, to the right, there's a kid sliding. When I was younger, I golfed a couple of times with my father, a handful of times. But I was a kid. That's a long time ago. All right, let me look. Yeah, to get to Suicide Hill, you got to go through you got to walk through feet of snow to get there. And this guy's up there doing it right now. But so right here, New London Turnpike the road was it wasn't flawless. Now it's flawless. So. Norwich is pretty much all set. Again, I don't know about the back roads, every single solitary back road. That's a lot of work. All right, let me see here. I didn't do Laurel Hill. The sun's going to be going down. Let me go. Let me think. Yeah, I'm going to try to get. I'm going to go over towards. Hey, I'll go past Norwich Hospital. This guy's going left. Wait a minute. We got a right turn signal here. Yeah, that's not working. That's not working. This guy wants to go left in front of me. Well, I guess we're stuck. And I'm pressed for time. Nothing I can do about it, folks. We just got to chill out. This dude is from Massachusetts, so that he doesn't probably know the roads very well. And that's understandable. He's probably going to Mohegan Sun Casino. Could have went right and got the Mohegan Sun as well. But again, if he's from Massachusetts and doesn't have good knowledge of the roads, then he's going to have a problem. The guy on the left wants to go straight, and he wants to go straight. All right, he gunned it, so. Route 32. I was told by a very reliable source that the roads in Montville yesterday were fantastic. So they stepped up. I mean, this is like, look at this thing. Beautiful. But it's 5:18. I think sunset is 5:34 maybe. I don't know, somewhere around there. They'll still be light, but you know, once you start losing the light rapidly, then this drive will come to an abrupt end. But I'm going to try to get to Laurel Hill. I'll sweep over that, drive past Norwich Hospital. Post-blizzard Calvin. Now, it's called Calvin. You know, it's not nationally known as Calvin. I think it's a Connecticut thing. Or a local weather thing. I don't think the official, the National Weather Service calls it storm or blizzard Calvin. I could be wrong on that, but I think I just think it's something that is done locally, regionally. I'll venture to say that. Whether that's accurate information, I'm not 100% sure. Oh man, this is awesome. Everybody's out. The stress of the pending blizzard is in the past. Now it's all about cleanup as I wait for that red light to turn green. And there we go. Now I gotta lay back a little bit. If this road is wet and there's people in front of me, I don't want to get sprayed. But if it's bone dry, I don't have anything to worry about. And this portion is nice and dry, so good. Temperature is now 37 degrees according to this car. Whether that's accurate, I don't know. I would assume it's fairly accurate. So we're going to go over the Thames River briefly. I think we're probably in Uncasville right now. We're going to briefly cross into Preston, Connecticut. Okay, it's a little wet up here. Let me dial down the speed a little bit. I do not want to get splattered. Wow. Thames River to the right. The edges have a lot of snow on it, but the actual river, the center of the river, you can see the water, so. So we're in Preston right now. I've been doing a lot of videos lately. I mean, in the past, I never really did a lot in the winter. I did almost, very rare. I mean, I would do snowstorms and things, but lately, this year, this is my biggest winter ever with, I would say, video content. Mostly drives. I did some static kind of filming with another camera and a tripod of different areas. I did some walking videos, walking around, and I did a staircase, kind of a historic staircase in Norwich, walking around and talking about it and everything, and that was a lot of fun. Okay, to the left is the former Norwich State Hospital. It was a mental institution. At one time there was 3,000 plus patients there. It was basically a small, almost a little city of its own. Many of the buildings are gone. They've knocked them down, and they're just no longer there. There's some buildings left standing. There's a handful, and it's, if they're going to take them down, it's going to be a lot of work. But I mean, they did. To the left of me was Kettle, Lodge, Ribicoff Building, Seymour Building. They're all gone. And they were all big, especially Kettle and Lodge. They were two huge, massive buildings. They had wards, South 6, South 5, North 5, North Side, South Side. Huge building. It had medical facilities in there, X-ray department, theater, you name it. So this is dead center, right in the middle of Norwich Hospital grounds, right here. Ad building, administration building to the left. To the right, there's what used to be Martin House. To the left, there's Lippitt building. They've done, years ago, they did lobotomies in there, among many surgeries. Delivered babies, you name it. To the right, employees, residents. I lived there at one time. I worked at that hospital. I lived there. It was, I don't know, $12 a month or whatever it was. It didn't cost anything. It was just like, cost you maybe a cup of coffee to live there per month. It was fantastic. All right, so we're in Norwich now. This is Laurel Hill area. This is going to bring us into the city, and it's 5:24 p.m., getting darker. And it probably looks fine to you because the camera compensates for different lighting conditions. But eventually the camera will reach its maximum ability to record at low light. If I kept driving and driving, you'd see the result. There's some of my videos on YouTube. You can kind of see I was driving home on the highway or whatever, and it was just too dark for the camera to record appropriately. You need light to record video, and I just didn't have enough. Wow, 289 at Cumberland Farms. I don't know. See, that's not a mobile or a, there's a guy on YouTube. He's got, I don't know, 10 million followers. He knows everything that there is to know about cars. And he kind of said, make sure you get gas from Exxon or Mobil or Shell, the major, I'm not going to name them all, but the major companies. They have detergents in the gasoline that help your engine and all this and that. If you buy real cheap gas over the long run from generic places that sell it without the detergents, and if you don't know the source of the gas, it may not have the detergents. Apparently that's not that great for your engine, according to a very trustworthy person. This isn't some YouTube, influencer, fake guy trying to make money. This is a legit old-time mechanic that knows what he's talking about. Highly respected But this is Laurel Hill, right? Right here. We're up on the hill. This is going to bring me right smack into the city of Norwich, the center. Okay, to the left is the marina. You can't see it. All right, let's go over the viaduct. I think I gotta just think about my timing here. Wow, Boy George and Culture Club coming to Mohegan Sun or Foxwoods or whatever that sign said back there. I didn't catch it. Back of the YMCA. Wow, old YMCA. That building is it's in the final stages. I mean, it's in the third quarter of the game. Let's put it that way. Those guys, who's ever working on that building, I'm telling you, the people they should be given an award. The conditions they've been working through with these snowstorms and this Arctic freezing and everything these guys have been putting up with. And that building's progressing real nice. Red light. Every red light I get is hampering my ability to make it back to where I started. I mean, I can get there, but I'm talking video, from a standpoint of video. There's always a decent amount of traffic about this time of day on the viaduct. Let's see if we can make this green light. Well, it's yellow. I'll use caution. There's nobody coming, so good. We shaved off maybe a minute. Gotta watch out for people walking in the street because the sidewalks in certain circumstances are not shoveled. A lot of plows. Hey man, these guys are getting some serious cash this year, and I'm glad. I'm real glad for these folks in the plowing and snow clearing business. All right, we got the roundabout. I mean, I hit this multiple days in a row, but it's getting dark. Hey man, he's supposed to yield. What was he beeping at me for? I got priority here. Once you're on that roundabout, you're pretty much in charge. Some people, like that gentleman back there, they're not really attuned or accustomed to roundabouts. So, I mean, we'll cut them a little slack. But, if you're driving on the road, I'm sorry. You should know what's going down if you got your driver's license. Famous Plaza, they're turning that building directly in front of us into 63 or 4 apartments. I'm pressed for time as far as the sun going down. It's like, I think the sun sets in 4 minutes, but there'll still be light. But I want to get to this Howard T. Brown Memorial Park, swing down the end and just get a quick glance. We'll just keep recording video. As long as this camera's actually recording. I never know. I mean, 99% of the time it is, but once in a while it shuts down and you don't know it's shut down. So this red light is every second counts. But I want to get over to Howard T. Brown. Then I'm going to just whip back to Norwich town as soon as I can. There we go. Let's go. Let's do this. All right. Yeah, it's fully plowed. Look at them. Geese. Whoa. That's geese and mallard ducks right there. Let's soak that in first. That's cool. That is cool. I mean, they're hungry, man. It's massive amounts of snow every which way but loose around this place. And these, waterfowl get kind of hungry. Oh, man, there's a zillion of them out in the water, too. So anyways, I wanted to get a look at the harbor, right there, Norwich Harbor, and it's kind of melted now. It was that Arctic freeze is. Let's get some of these geese. It's kind of backlit. That's real cool. That is really, really cool. Somebody threw some feed out there for them, no doubt about it. All right, guys. I mean, I got a car right here. I know you're hungry, but I'm pressed for time. You're throwing a wrench in the gears on my video timing. All right, we got some good footage of Canadian geese and mallard ducks. Now it's time for me to go back to Norwich town. Again, to the left, to the right's the parking garage, a parking garage. This isn't, what is it? Market Street Garage is the name of that thing. To the left is that building I mentioned. The name is Plaza. It was a lot of things in the past. Banks. I don't know what else was in there. Social Security offices or whatever. Tons and tons of business, offices and everything. But you know what I should do? I can take a right on Red. Let me go. I didn't do Main Street yesterday, I don't think. I've done so much driving. I'm doing a lot of overlapping, but some roads I did and some I couldn't do, and it's just, after a while you forget. I mean, when you do video after video after video, it's 5:34, so the sun, according to the the Weather Channel, whatever it was, sets now. And that's okay, because there's still going to be light thrown up over the horizon. That's why it's a little, the camera looks brighter than it is. To the naked eye, it's definitely darkening, but the camera compensates. It makes adjustments internally, automatically. That's why it looks okay to you. And it looks okay to me. To the naked eye, it looks fine. There is definitely light still available, but my window of opportunity here is I may have another 10 or 15 minutes tops, and I want to get back to where I came from. So I think I'll hit Main Street, or this section of Main Street, take a left, and work my way back to Norwich town. All right. Yep. So we're on Main Street. Yeah, I think I did this. Guys, I've been doing this every day. I've been filming other things. I mean, I got a million videos waiting in the wings here to be uploaded and edited and all that stuff after this blizzard. So, okay, now I'm where I want to be. You got to get out there and walk the dogs too. That's another tough thing. Everybody was snowed in. Their dogs wanted to go out. Some of these videos that I've seen from Rhode Island got absolutely hammered. There was a guy that was in his garage and he was going to go out and snow blow, and he had his camera. He was going to film it and everything. And the garage door was closed, and when he opened it, as the door went up, you just kept seeing snow. It was over his head. It was almost, not 100%, but it was almost all the way up to the top. And he's got this snowblower. It's like, all right, how am I going to proceed here? All right, Washington Street. That's good news. Green light, better news. And you got the former Christ Episcopal Church to the left over there. It's no longer functioning as a church. I don't think the building is used for any purpose right now. I hope somebody does something with it. So the sun is set, and we're heading back to where we began. And if I can make it before it gets too dark, that'll be another video in the books. This, we had the 2-inch clipper storm that came through early this morning. I don't think it's noticeable. After that blizzard, it's kind of 2 inches. You just kind of look at it and go, you shrug. It's a cakewalk. I did some snow blowing today, 2 inches. It was like, all right. No time flat, you're done. $38 degrees. So that's, this car's been hovering 38, 37 degrees. I'm going to believe that to be fact. There's the Greek Orthodox Church to the right over there. And we're getting ready to cross into the Norwich town section. So this right here is part of the Norwich town section of Norwich. So that tells me that Bacchus Hospital is located in Norwich town. I never really thought about that before, but that's the case. Clark and Company, new eatery, coffee, flowers, right over there to the right. Saw pictures and everything. They had a dedicate or a grand opening or whatever, and it looked absolutely beautiful. They redid that building top to bottom, and boy does it look great. We still got light. We got enough light. Experience tells me we still have enough light going on right now for me to get acceptable video. So if everything goes well between point A and point B when I end this thing, I'm going to make it. So I wanted to do Mohegan Park. I did that. I wanted to check out New London Turnpike. I did that. New London Turnpike, clear as a bell, crystal, no problem, as predicted. Norwich Public Works, or the people that do the plowing, men and women that do the plowing. They're killing it this year. The Mother Nature is throwing everything it has at these folks, and these guys are like, they're going through this. These blizzards and these major snowstorms, making it look easy. It's not easy. You got guys working, 32 hours straight, non-stop, and, you hear stories like that from some of the private contractors, the people that plow out businesses and things. This is a financial bonanza for some of these folks, and you know what? I couldn't be happier about it. They deserve it. They've been waiting for it. Beautiful Congregational Church right in front of us. Meeting House Rocks straight ahead. I got a video where I went right up to the top of that thing on foot. That's a cool video. I mean, I'm not bragging, but I was pleased with that video when I shot that. Sometimes I do videos and I think, yeah, okay, this one's average or whatever, nothing special. That one, I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the final product of that Meeting House Rock video. Because I don't, as far as I know, there's no video of that in existence ever, and it's been there since. I mean, it's been there since the beginning of time. That the actual Meeting House Rock itself. But I mean, as a functioning church, they do mass up there periodically, or special events, maybe weddings, whatever it is. As far as I know, I've never seen video from up there. So when I say, I'm pleased with the final product, that's kind of a very unique thing to have on video, and it came out without any major, glitches or anything like that. So that's what I mean. My favorite video last year is my walk around the grounds of Norwich Hospital. That's my personal favorite. I worked there. That video meant something to me, and on a technical level, I was very happy with it again. So that's, you can do a video and then technically you get home and you go, it's underexposed or something, whatever. The audio was messed up or not quite as good as I would like. Everything came together and worked nicely for that particular video. We're sitting on West Town Street in the Norwich Town section of Norwich. This is my last red light, and this video is almost over. But if you stuck around for this long, I'm very, very grateful. And I hope you enjoyed what you saw. But it's getting dark rapidly. It's getting dark very rapidly. Now see, the other day when I turned onto Plain Hill Road, it was kind of in rough shape. It was passable, easily drivable, but it was not as perfect as it stands right now in front of us. So, I mean, these guys, like I say, the fine-tuning on the back roads. If you live in Norwich, on your street is maybe a small little one-way street somewhere. If they haven't gotten to you yet, they probably have, I would say. But if they haven't, they will, and it'll be perfect. I'm sure they did the cursory initial plowing for safety, but they'll finish it off. So we started somewhere around here. There's just enough lighting where we can make it. Let me turn my high beams on. So that's it. This video is over.